your thing and we'll do a.
Yeah,
get this-
I was actually thinking, I don't even know if we need to read this because it's on the agenda every time, but I'll go ahead. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the amount of people that may gather in one location. This meeting will be conducted via remote participation. Specific information as basically people can participate by joining this Zoom call. And if you just call a roll call quote to enter into quorum, you can start the meeting.
Okay. Let me get see if I can. Can we get a roll call vote? We'll start with Jack. Oop, I can't tell who's muted and who's not here.
Jack's muted.
Jack's muted. Okay. Mary?
Here.
Brian?
Here.
Jack? You still muted?
No, I'm here.
Okay. Jack?
Here.
So, thank you. Joanne?
Here.
And Ken's here. All right, good. Let's get down to business. I didn't print anything out here, Kyle, so I don't know if you want to put the agenda up on the screen so everybody can see it.
I don't know how the committee feels. We do have enough people to vote on the ice skating rink proposal now. I don't know if how you want to handle that, if you wanted to wait until Peter was here or what. But Mary did mention she was hoping to have that first on the agenda.
Yeah, I'm okay taking a vote with it because I really think that everybody was in favor of it. It just be around a little more clarification on utilization of the sheet and that, just that some budgetary numbers are put into it from the town standpoint. So is Mary able to comment on that, or I thought?
I should say Amy, really, it's Amy's proposal.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I just want clarity on that. This proposal is from Amy Howell, the Recreation Director. It is not from the Chamber. The Chamber has just been partnering with them and gathering the information because
Sure.
we see it as a valuable resource for the town.
Absolutely. And I see that Amy is with us too, so.
I did have some questions that I thought we had asked last time on this. And
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't see them in the response. I saw the financial analysis with a couple of different scenarios. But we had also mentioned that they might try to take a look. Amy, hi, hello.
Hi.
I don't need to talk about you. You're here, so I can speak directly to you. With regard to other vendors, since this is looking like a sole source, what you may have done in terms of investigating that. And the second thing is, what has been the experience of other municipalities? Although I think we all generally thought this was a good idea, as things have seemingly getting worse economically, the optics on this, I'm getting a little bit more concerned about as to how the public might view this expenditure of their tax money. Maybe you've got some good feelings from people that have put this together, that this will really actually be a good thing. But on those two items we had raised last week, I was wondering if you have any additional information on other municipalities and other vendors.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't, I thought you guys basically wanted the budget. I did send along to Jack because he had requested it from Mary, but we had received two references. They were both from the Carolinas, and so we asked them, kind of how long they had them, what were the pros, what were the cons, were they popular? And both responded, which I can send along if you guys want that information as well. But basically, both their responses were that they love them. The community is loving them. Some of them have done them. Some of them have charged. Some of them are free. And really, what was interesting, and I know we had mentioned it last time, is the only cons to that both of them mentioned were sharpening the ice skates. So everything else, they said it would, the ease of it, the maintenance of it, all they do for maintenance is power wash it. And so, and they're in the Carolinas where, obviously they don't get the cold weather too. So obviously it's, perfect for them. So, but I can pass those along. I know Mary had spoken to, actually, we were just talking about it earlier today, that Sandwich, was it Sandwich, Mary? Sandwich did one,
Correct. Yep.
and was it rented? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so they rented it for a 2-day event. It was not the chamber. I believe she said it was the town library that rented it. And that goes to our point of, for 2 days, it's $7,000 to rent it. And that, of course, provides, the setup and the 2 staff. But when you're investing that kind of money, you really question, if you use it 4 times a year, that's $28,000. So that's why Amy and I went down the road of investigating the purchase of one.
And so I know, I think we had mentioned it, but so we've looked at a couple other, probably 3 or 4 different other companies. And the difference for this one is they're a wholesale company, and that's why it's just so much cheaper. And I have received numerous emails from some of those other companies, such as Gleiss, I think Artificial Ice Rinks, for even used ones. And even the used ones averaged in the 30s all the way up to over 100. I mean, that's obviously, you're talking a Olympic sized ice rink out there. So this company by far, because it is a wholesale company, has the best bang for your buck, if you will. And so we did, like I said, we did get 3 references. One never responded to us, but 2 of them did right away, and they purchased from this company.
Just for like clarifying question, Amy, when it comes time to put out the project, this is going to be procured out, right? Through like a procurement process, I would guess.
So that's where we are still questioning it, because technically it depends on who it's funded through, like, because we do have community visions, but yeah, we do have the different quotes that we're able to go through the procurement process. And that's why we're confident in what we're asking for you price wise, because this price wise is the cheapest by far out of the other 3 or 4. So if people, when we do go through the procurement process, if that's what we have to do, this company,
I think you probably will, because if it's going to be owned by the
Right, over
town, then
10,000.
that's what
Right.
triggers it.
Yep.
But I think that speaks to Joanne's concerns about seeking multiple quotes. That'll be all
Oh,
fleshed
yeah.
out through the procurement
Yeah,
process.
absolutely. We wanted to make sure we had 3 or 4 anyways. At the time when we were doing it, we were hoping it would, come in at a lesser value, and we would have been able to purchase it through like a 501c3. But now that we are going to be the ones kind of, and coming to you guys, going through that procurement process, we do have 3 or 4 companies that we already have the quotes for. And this is by far the lowest, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked to me like it could be a moneymaker. Worrying about spending taxpayer money, this could be a plus with the rental of skates and the rental of the ice.
Yeah, it certainly can. And it's not our goal to make it a moneymaker. Some events, I put together, the budget, as you guys can see. I don't know if you guys have it in front of you, but I did a couple different ones. I did the Winterfest, which is kind of what kicked off the idea with the chamber. And so the Winterfest, say it's 16 hours. You can kind of see on here, I did it per number of skaters, right? So if we had 20, you can see what we'd make. If we had 25, if we went all the way up to 40, which is the size of the rink that we are proposing, but say we're still in COVID times, right? And we have to go down to 20, you can still see even what we can make off of 20 skaters, per hour. Looking around at what other municipalities has done event-wise, most of them typically do the skates for about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. So that's why we went with an hour. $5 is actually on the lower range as well for what nearby places do. So even if you go Tony Kent, just ice skating rinks that are on the Cape, we are kind of a little bit lower, which is what we want it to be. And then I know Jen researched some events that have the synthetic, and we are right in line with about $6, $7, $8 an hour to either rent skates or skate. So we're kind of right in line. We actually went on the lower end. We wanted to see and make sure that we could cover our costs with that. Even with staffing, which you guys can see, and we kind of went, we went a little bit overboard on the staffing, but again, we just wanted to show that it can easily be covered if we charge. And so we really feel like if we have to cover the costs, that these can do it. And this isn't even counting other revenue that we can kind of bring in. I mean, if we're doing an event, obviously we're going to be looking for sponsorships, whether it's on a sign around the rink, bringing in food and beverage, perhaps. So there's other revenue that we could even bring in aside from just charging people when we're doing an event. So we're not super concerned about being able to recover our costs for running it. And then I did throw in kind of like a quick, if we just did a one-day event type thing, which is on the next slide or next page. So this one, just to show, say we wanted to do a quick 5-hour event. I know we had talked about how it could be a lot of work setting it up. And the beauty of this rink is we don't have to do the whole rink. So even if we wanted to do a small 20, 25, 30 person rink, again, and since it's 5 hours, obviously we cut our staff hours as well. But it's pretty easily covered if we had to. And our goal and our thought is there's going to be some events where we charge. And then because we are collecting these costs, we would love to be able to offer free events to the community as well and subsidize it for different, events. So that way we don't always have to charge. If we can bring in enough sponsorships or donations or whatever it is for a specific event, we will be able to not charge and offer it for free to the community as a community event. So that's our goal too. Our goal is not to just sit here and make tons of money off of this. It's to really just bring something different to the community. And it's just something fun for them to do year round. Like I said, we could be skating in 90-degree weather at the beach. I mean, I think that's a pretty cool thing to offer. So our goal is to just kind of do a mix, charge sometimes, subsidize other times. So.
I'd like to say I'm not really looking at it as a moneymaker. I look at it as an amenity for the community. And I'd like to remind the committee that we are the Community and Economic Development Committee.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, so I wasn't at the last one, but my hometown in South Carolina, Somerville, they've been doing this second winter, they're doing it, a rink, and people seem to really love it as I've talked to people down there. So on that, but not being here last meeting real quick, are you not going to have it set up all the time and you're only going to put it up for certain events? Or are you looking at like every Saturday for a while, we're going to have people be there, or what's the overall plan and where? And I know you can move it around, but there's probably going to be a place you've identified that you more likely would have it.
Yeah, so I think our goal again is to do mixed things. And, I think as we get it, it can always evolve. When we first thought about it, we were like events. And then, it's funny is the two references were from the Carolinas, and both those communities put it up. They don't just leave it, but it's up. Yeah. And every weekend, say from, I think, December to January, they had it open type thing.
That's what they did. Like during the night, during the week, they have it open. The weekends, they have it open, and you can book your times and all that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In the winter months when they're going to see higher usage around it.
Right. And it gives people something to do kind of outside, especially in COVID world now. But yeah, just a different event, especially on the Cape where, let's be honest, in the winter, there's not a ton going on. And so this is another opportunity that we could do that. And I think that's the beauty of this is maybe the first year we do just events and we see that it's huge. And now next year we can open it for 7 weeks. And if we were to do something like that, it would have to be somewhere where we could secure it. So like we've talked about, like Flax Pond, where we have our courts there and it's surrounded by fence. And so it's easily lockable. Again, security would be a huge thing. So we'd want to find a place that we could pretty much lock it up behind fence for when.
So talking like 5 hours. So looking at the budget, like 1 day expense for you would be like 5 hours of having up your $500 expense, and that includes the labor setting it up and all that.
So I did it 2 ways. So I have set up labor, which if it was like a 5-hour event, say we're not doing it bigger too, because it all depends on how big we're going. 'Cause
Yeah.
if we only use half of it, then we don't need as many people setting up either. But say we're going like 25, right? So we're using half of the rink. It'd really be there is a video link. I don't know if you guys watched it. And it's pretty cool. It shows you how it's quite simple really to set up.
Yeah.
And now I think the first time we'd be, it's the first time for everything. So it'd probably take a lot longer, but I think after a while you get it down, and so you have your setup time and then really just staffing it, because it's not something that just liability wise you could leave out. So we would have to staff it when we are running it. So
I agree. I was wondering, because I'm even thinking of like corporate events, staff outings, things like that, for companies, as far as the use of it in the future.
yeah, and something like that would have to be decided insurance wise.
Yes.
So since it is town property, like, do we want it? Will we be covered? So where that's, I think, something definitely to look into in the future. I think right now in the foreseeable, it would be more for us to run just community events, and just liability wise, and then research, if the town would cover rentals and other people using it. I mean, and with that comes the will they damage it? Will they,
Well, I
stuff
mean,
like
your
that.
staff would have to be there the whole time and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right. We'd have to set it up and man it and stuff like that. So, and something like that. I mean, again, if you were looking to do those and make some money, so that way you could subsidize a community event, that would be a perfect way to do it. So.
Yeah, I think the advertising is big too. Especially if you're setting it up in the winter for a period of time, that kind of thing. I mean, you go to some of the bigger players, and
Yeah, I mean, and some of the events that the Carolinas did, they sent me like their websites. I mean, we were talking about skating with Santa, doing theme nights. I mean, all that's kind of, I think, would be pretty cool thing to be able to offer the community, and stuff that we're already kind of envisioning. So
yeah,
I think it's something
envision like you do. I mean, if you paired it with like a blow up TV screen and did Bruins games while skating on the ice or something,
I think there's going to be a learning curve no matter what we do, but I still
Absolutely.
think it'll be a set to.
Can I jump in a little bit? Sorry, I was late.
Hey, Steve.
How you guys doing? Nice work by Mary, Jen, and Amy. Just a couple of questions, Amy. Is there any maintenance involved at all with overtime? I assume something's bound to break that requires some maintenance and update. Have you factored that into your analysis at all?
yeah, so after talking with with not only the company, but also the two references, they say the best thing about it is the maintenance. The company has said it, and then the references backed it up, where you're pretty much, power washing the panels. The beauty is, like you say, over time, like, will a couple panels get like destroyed and stuff, but obviously, but I think the beauty of this is we can always add on at the end. Say this goes great, and we, there's another 501c3, and we're like, hey, we need 10 more panels to offset 10 we've lost in the last 7 years. We can do that. So
When you say panels, those are sideboards you're talking about?
no, the actual rink itself comes
The
in
rink
panels.
itself.
So it's 56. The one that we're looking at is 56 panels. So
Okay. Does
Skating
it
surface.
require any site prep at all?
So as long as it's a hard surface, all you do, I mean, you don't even have to, but we would want to do it, is you would put it's like a tarp, like, material down, just kind of protect the backside of it from the hard surface. And then you just lay the panels. It comes with some lubricant, as they call it, which most have said maybe once a year you're putting that on. But other than that, everyone has said it's power wash or just water and a squeegee. So it's pretty minimal maintenance, which is the beauty of it.
Good. I like it.
Joanne, did you get all your questions answered?
I think so. Thank you, Ken.
Okay, good. Does anybody have any additional questions for Amy?
Yeah, I did, and not so much for Amy, Ken. I'm just wondering at the group, where are we looking at putting this? At a certain location or moving it around town, or what's the thought on
Well, I
that?
think the plan is to put it on where it has to be secured. So if we were gonna set it up for a period of time, from what Amy said, it would be at Flax Pond potentially. But the beauty of this piece is that it can be moved around, Steve.
Yeah,
And, you know, if there's an event somewhere that it could be set up, that the plan was set it up there, so.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it's like a 1-day event, and you know, you can set it up and take it down anywhere, as long as it's on a hard surface. I mean, you're not gonna put it on grass. You gotta have a fairly level surface. You can put it down and, you know, a couple hours and.
And would it fit on like a tennis court then?
Mhm.
Okay.
Absolutely. The main thing you don't want is, like, you're not going to find a parking lot that has like a big, you know, like divot in it. You don't want to put it over that. So it doesn't have to be perfectly level, but you don't want like potholes,
Right.
which could be a problem.
After this winter,
Yeah.
yes.
So,
So Kyle, can you repeat what the ask was at the last meeting that we just wanted to?
Yeah, it's here, I'll pull it up. It's a request for 20,000.
Great. Can I get a motion?
Can
Yeah,
I just say,
make a
Ken,
motion for-
the request was for up to 20,000.
Okay.
We're
Thank you.
anticipating it would be less than that.
I'd
Okay.
make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, great. It needs to be a roll call vote as a reminder to everybody.
Can we have some discussion though?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
I mean, I know y'all are in favor, but one thing we haven't really talked about was the wrap up from these visioning sessions the town did, you know, the planning board did, right? And in mine that I participated in, I was shocked, Joanne, I think you were in this one with me, in this little subgroup, is how much everyone else in our group talked about the things that this group funds. And they didn't know that, right? You know, but everyone talked about all the events, that the Seaside Festival, the parade, all the stuff that when they think of fun in Yarmouth, they're thinking of the stuff this group funds. And I think this goes along with that. And what I kept hearing out of that was how sad they were this past year that stuff didn't happen. And I think this is a way to start doing some of that again. But I was just, you know, sometimes I question what we do and things like that. And then when I go in a meeting like that, it reminds me that that is what people care about more than anything.
Great comments. Super. Any further discussion? I've got a motion on the floor motion was made by Steve for up to $20,000, and I have a second by Ryan. So I need to take a roll call vote. Let's start right from here with Jack,
Yes,
Steve,
Yes,
Ryan,
Yes.
Joanne,
Yes,
Mary,
I abstain.
thank you, and Ken is a yes. Amy, go buy us a rink.
thank you very much.
yeah, nice work, everyone. Great job.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Amy.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, Amy.
Bye.
thanks, Amy.
Thank you, guys.
I
Kyle,
do
can you
want
bring-
you guys to know, Amy, hold on one second. To Ryan's point, Amy and I have talked about this, that, you know, this committee will certainly get acknowledgement for their support of the purchase of this, as well as Community Visions. We will make sure that the public knows about the generosity of this group for this purchase.
What is Community Visions?
They're a 501c3, and they have typically supported rec projects like Flax Pond. They were primarily the funder.
Is it in the area?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yep. Yeah, they're a local nonprofit. Yep.
Okay.
In Yarmouth, really. So, yep. So,
How do they raise money?
gosh, they haven't really been active for a long time.
That's why I didn't know how they had 20,000.
Yeah, so I think they redid Flax about, I don't know, 6-7 years ago was when they were very, very active. So it was before my time here. So we learned about them and went to them, and they generously, as you guys did, approved it. So.
Great. Amy, thank you for all your efforts.
All right. Thank you,
Nice
guys.
work.
Thanks very much. Have a great one.
Great.
Hi, Amy.
Hey, Kyle, can you bring the agenda up on the screen for a second? Thank you.
Yeah, so without Peter, we probably don't want to do 1 or
No.
4, but we can go on to the third item.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's
Jen?
great. When Peter's not here, you can reelect him to officer.
I think this is Peter's way to stay in office, stay in power.
That's right. That's right. Well, let's wait till the next meeting.
I thought he stayed in power because no one else wants it.
I think it's
That
a
also
little bit
might
of
be
that
the
too, Ryan. Let's go on to the marketing update from Mary and Jen.
Okay, so this is from October 2020 through December 2020. And with some of the marketing projects, with the results, since I was writing this in January, I wanted to factor those into that. So this is more of the latest information with the contract ending on January 31st. So we did a Facebook and Instagram campaign that was Explore, Shop, and Dine in Yarmouth. And they started in November. They went through the end of January. And the ads drove traffic back to our website. I created a page that's still active. It's called What's Open in Yarmouth, and it lists all of our restaurants, all of our retail, all of our arts and museums and things to do that are still open. And then I constantly update it as things open, reopen, or close. And we targeted people throughout the Cape and a little bit off Cape as well. We really wanted to drive business, especially during the holidays, to our area. So the campaign had 2,815 clicks, which is 0.57 click-through rate, which is great considering it's the off season. And female ages 65 plus had the highest click rate. And the majority of the ads were being viewed from an iPhone. Partway through the campaign, we decided to remove the age group of 18 to 24 because people just weren't clicking on it. So that way it focused on the people that were clicking on it. And when I wrote this report so far, we've had 1,555 page views on our What's Open page. And then for the next marketing contract, we'll be doing social media campaigns again in the spring. And then for branding, we did a Yarmouth Fall Winter Fun display campaigns that also started in November and went through the end of January. We promoted different types of couple activities, and once the season started to change from fall to winter, we switched out the pictures. Kyle, if you could scroll down a little bit more. For this one, we usually have targeted families, but we decided to actually stay away from that since it's the fall and winter season. So we actually targeted couples, and we targeted people in the South Shore and Boston area, and people who had household incomes of over $100,000, affluent shoppers, leisure travelers. So then as the end of December, we had a 0.36 click-through rate, which is 5.16 above the national average. And it's been viewed mostly through a tablet device, which would make sense if we're targeting, older people. And then followed by that was mobile devices and then desktop. So I will have the final results from that campaign in the next quarterly report. And then we'll plan on doing these again in the spring as well. For blogging, October, we did the Halloween event. November, we did a shop local for the holiday season. December was great holiday gifts from different retail shops. And then the most favorite one that we did was Yarmouth residents light up the winter skies. And the October Halloween one had 85 page views and 44 social media engagements. The shop local that we did in November was 104 page views and 103 social media engagements. The holiday gifts had 98 page views and 96 social media engagements. And then the light up the winter sky, which was pretty cool. Our blog writer sort of just did this very quickly when I was actually out on vacation, but I wanted to get it posted because he included different residents that had completely decorated the outside of their houses and put together a Google map for people to drive around and go see these. And as a result from that one, we had 338 page views and 353 social media engagements. And then since we created the blog page on our website, we've had 2,963 page views, and we received an additional 192 page views during this past quarter. And we'll be planning on continuing blogging in the next contract as well. And then for our targeted media campaign, we published articles in the Register newspaper. So we did the Safe Trick and Treating event in October. And then we also did restaurants trying to stay afloat during COVID. Kyle, if you could scroll down a little bit. The Safe Trick or Treating and the restaurant articles did make the front page of the Register newspaper, so that was good exposure. And then we did a visiting article too when the visiting survey was going on. So I'll have more to report on that in the next one. For eBlast, we sent out our quarterly Yarmouth Traveler e-newsletter in December to 10,000 contacts. We kept the same things from the redesign. So the special events, what's new in town, enter to win, and our latest blog post. And we also had a little holiday message from the North Pole. Santa wished everybody a safe and happy holiday. And the most popular things that were clicked on were the North Pole video, what's open in Yarmouth, and the Enter to Win gift card, which was the gift card to the Rope's End restaurant. And for this one, we had a 23% open rate, which was actually up from 17% from the last one that we sent. And then we also had a 17% click-through rate. And we actually received, I was sort of surprised by this, we had 345 new subscribers over the past couple of months. So people are finding it on our website and signing up, which is great. So we'll continue to grow that list. Then we also did towards the end of November into December, not sure if any of you guys heard them, if you listen to the radio, but we did shop local radio campaigns with Cape Cod Broadcasting on 99.9 The Q, and then also with CODCOM. They have the Frank and Coffee radio stations. So the CCB one ran for 2 weeks in December. The CODCOM actually started at the end of November and went all the way pretty much through Christmas Eve. And the CODCOM also included they had a whole page with all the different shop local pages. So they actually linked back to our website. So, and that page received 107 page views. And then we'll be doing more radio in the next contract as well.
Great.
And Kyle, if you can scroll down, for public enhancements, Mary, myself, and actually my boyfriend and her son went around and hung up holiday decorations in November. We did them on the Village Green, Thatcher Park, and Packet Landing. They consisted of bows and garland. I'm sure you guys all saw them. And then also John G. Sears Landscaping put up all the garden gateway signs. And then we removed them after the holidays, and we received a lot of positive feedback. I got a couple of honks when I was putting up the ones on the Village Green. And even when we took them down, a resident had said that they really appreciated them. So, and then one of the things I wanted to talk about is that we did, the chamber put together a survey back in the fall on how we can enhance Yarmouth. And one of the comments that was said over and over again was complimenting the decoration. So people do appreciate them.
That's great.
And then for our Halloween Spooktacular, I know I spoke about this a little bit in our last quarterly report, but we organized this with the Recreation Department and the Yarmouth Drive-In site. We sold out with 225 cars. We had a waiting list of over, I think, 30 cars on it. We had the Toe Jam puppet band, say that 3 times fast, played live music. We gave out some great activity bags for the kids. Xfinity was a sponsor of ours, and they gave a fleece blanket to each car. We had the Resource Safe Trick-or-Treating. We showed Hotel Transylvania, and we actually had over 25 volunteers dressed up in costume, and Bruce Murphy even showed up and passed out candy with us, with his daughter. So that was really great. We put the photos up that were taken during the event on our media gallery on our website and got some good coverage from that. So we did only have 159 cars attend, and that was what I got from the drive-in site after the event was over. And then we also did the street team survey. So 51.8% of the attendees were actually from Yarmouth. and 40.7 of them dined out while they were there. So that was good. And then for our trolley tour, since we weren't able to do it, Mary and I thought it would be a fun idea just to say, hey, we're thinking about you and we haven't, I'm sorry that we can't do the event, that we put together this video that we put up on YouTube that shows pictures of people from the past, all the different events that they attended. And then we also included 2 recipes, one from Captain Parker's and one from the Yarmouth House, that people could try and make it themselves at home. And from that, we received 209 video views, which is sort of average. I was hoping it would be a little bit more, but it was still, I think, just something nice for them that, we're going to hopefully be able to hold something this year. And then I also sent out an e-blast to all the past attendees, and we received a 44.2% open rate and a 45.3% click-through rate. And then for our virtual tree lighting ceremony, since we couldn't do that for the Christmas stroll this year, we also decided to do another video where we partnered with the Historical Society, and we decorated the tree with lights, and that's thanks to Peter, who's not here, but also Steve helping us get the lights up and getting the bows on the tree. And we went back later in the afternoon and met 2 members of the Historical Society. And it was like right before it was just about to rain, but we did a virtual tree lighting with like a message from us and then a message from the Historical Society. And then we also did the special message from Santa as well. So we put that up on social media and also our YouTube page as well. And we received a total of 317 views across all platforms that we had it up there. And then we're hoping we can do some type of Christmas stroll in this December. And then this was something new that we did. This was a really fun thing. Actually, I really enjoyed doing it. So we did something called Salty Sally on the Shelf, and we purchased an elf on the shelf. And I made that mask that she's wearing, which was hilarious that website actually had them for the elves this year. But it was a free marketing initiative. We really just wanted to push, to shop local this holiday season. So we had 24 businesses sign up. And I drove around and went to all those different businesses and stuck Salty Sally in different places. And then what I did is twice a day on Facebook for the 12 days leading up to Christmas, I would do post on guess where she is. And so it made it into a contest where if someone entered and guessed correctly, that they had a chance of winning a gift basket full of Yarmouth stuff. So as a result of that, we had really, really good traction. People got into it. They were excited to see where she was. Some were harder than others. Some were super easy, but we received 439 comments throughout the whole 2-week promotion, 352 likes, and 3,605 social media engagements. And I definitely think we'll do it again next year. And we went out and purchased all the things for the gift basket from the local businesses that were participating. And then Lily's Florist and Gifts actually put together the gift basket. And a woman named Elaine Mary won the contest, and she's a local resident. So it was just some really good extra push for shopping local this season.
That's great.
And that is pretty much it.
Great. Any questions for Jen or Mary? Great job, Jen. Really, it's
Thank
amazing.
you.
It's amazing all the work you're doing.
Yeah, nice work. Keep it up. Good job.
Thank you. I can't wait to keep continuing it.
Yeah, and I just want to acknowledge Jen too. As all of you can imagine, marketing a community during COVID
Yeah,
is a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
it's
so
a challenge period during COVID.
Yeah.
It's
So
almost-
she's done an exceptional job, and I just want to acknowledge that.
All of my water.
Sure is.
Nice
work.
Thank you,
Nice,
Mary.
nice work, and thank you so much.
No
And I'd
problem.
like
Thank
to
you,
give my
guys.
congratulations to Mary. Thank you. Thank you both. Great job.
Great. Kyle,
Yep.
agenda, please.
Yep. You got it. Hold on.
I guess Jen's gone. Okay.
Really great job, Mary. Please pass that on to Jen. I think
Yeah, it's
we're
just
up.
updates and minutes, really.
Yeah.
for the last-
So let's just go ahead and just knock them out of the park, and we'll have this meeting done by 5. Community updates, Jack?
Oh, just a couple of things. And sometimes people ask me, what good is a commission? What do they do for us? And a couple of weeks ago, Christie Senatori sent to the selectmen a list of the outstanding mitigation funds that the commission had collected for the town of Yarmouth. From any kind of, they're called developments of regional impact, and they can have an impact on towns other than the towns they're in. And
Mhm.
over the past couple of years, the money collected for the town of Yarmouth has been over almost $600,000, and it's still 88,000 in escrow. They're all targeted funds. I mean, whatever the project is and whatever the effect is, whether it's additional traffic or another study, the funds are directed to that purpose. But one of the things that, for instance, there was a feasibility study for the extension of the Cape Cod Rail Trail that Yarmouth was awarded $114,400 for that study. And various corrections for transportation. I mean, they thought that there should be another passing lane, or if there should be another traffic signal there, that money is collected from the applicant and held in escrow until the town does the work. That's all I have.
Okay. Well, thank you. Joanne?
We haven't had a planning board meeting since our
Yeah.
last meeting, so no
Great.
report here. If I could just ask Jack a quick question, though?
Yep. Go.
Jack, are these funds that are released to us now, and they then can be used to pay bills, like if we did a study of the Cape Cod Rail Trail, or is this in anticipation that we would do a study?
They're all targeted funds. They're all targeted to items that the commission feels had to be mitigated because of the application and the project. But I'm not sure about the study. Of course, I'm assuming that there was a request from the town of Yarmouth to ask the commission to study it, and they, I'm not sure whether that fund came from funds that were really commission funds, or they were from some other source.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else have any updates? Ryan or Steve?
No, sir.
Ryan?
No, not really.
No? Okay.
Good.
Kyle,
Ken,
let's go. Yeah, go
And
ahead.
can I
One
just,
thing, there was
So
a
Mary,
questionnaire referral. DRIs can be mandatory depending on their purpose, or they can be discretionary depending on an official of the town that thinks
Mhm.
a project should be looked at. And we get quite a few from historical societies and conservation committees. And there's a house that's a request for demolition has been issued on River Street, and it was referred to us by Mark Rills, the Yarmouth Building Commissioner.
Okay. Mary, you had a comment?
I just wanted to, if I could take a minute and recognize Joanne and Kyle. The planning board in their visioning process had a small focus group with some of the business community.
Mhm.
And I think the conversation was very positive. The businesses, after they left the meeting, have contacted me, acknowledging in particular Kyle for his kindness in following up with those business owners. And, sometimes staff and Joanne, volunteer committees, don't hear positive things. And Kyle, I just wanted you to know again today, I received another text from one of the business owners complimenting you for taking that time. So those small things make a massive difference to people. So I just wanted to acknowledge both of you for taking the time and working with the businesses.
Well, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. On that, I did have two follow-up conversations with Jack Hines. And I want to try to engage him more. He's offered to help out, and he's certainly a player that I think has some influence. So
Absolutely.
he's teaching me about how hotel rates are an incredibly dynamic, minute to minute, second to second sales pricing model, I guess, and how over time the actual room rate for an average weekday has gone down. And he's provided me with hard facts on that. It's not just Jack talking. It's a real issue. Ken, I don't need to steal any thunder here because you certainly are the
No.
expert. But it was an eye opener for me.
Yeah, and Jack's, and what's Jack speaking of is the fact that room rates, everyone thinks that room rates have gone up, and in certain aspects because of competition, because of erosion of market. And certainly, that's I will say, I'm not saying to contradict Jack, but certain times of the year the rates have gone up, but as a majority, the off season specifically, room rates midweek have actually gone down, which everybody knows costs aren't going down. So it's definitely a problem.
Jack told me about the old days when the rates would depend on the weather. If it was 60 degrees out, the rooms were 60. If it was 70, the rate went to 70. He
Yeah.
said there were operators that would put up the no vacancy sign until they were sure everybody else was filled, and then they'd pull down their sign and charge what they could get.
What hotel is Jack?
Jack Hines.
Jack Hines from Yarmouth Resort.
That's the one. No, who's the one that Joanne was getting?
Yeah, Jack Hines.
Jack
Okay.
Hines.
So which one's Yarmouth Resort?
The one on Route 28 as you just near the Emerald Physician building there. I don't know if it's still Emerald
The Yarmouth
Physician.
House.
The Yarmouth House, thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
But I know we want to get out of here by 5 o'clock, but since this is the Mutual Fan Club, I wanted to thank Mary for organizing all of these business. There were 7 or 8 of us, members of the business community were there. And it was a really good conversation, but that wouldn't have happened without you, Mary. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Kyle, how about staff updates?
Yeah, I guess my only update just along those lines is, kind of jumping off from that is I did have the idea to kind of try to increase our business community engagement going forward. I want to reach out to more people and have these kind of similar conversations. It's kind of a daunting task. I don't know if I'll reach out to every single business owner, but at least the major players. I was going to start with our 2 selectmen who own businesses in town, Eric Tolley and Michael Stone. They don't own them in the traditional sense, the architecture and law firm, but they're tapped into the business community as well. And
Yep.
Basically my conversation is going to be, is there something that the town's not doing now that we can be doing to help your business is kind of more or less what I want to know. But really, I think it's just, as to Mary's point, it's just good to connect with these people and kind of put a human element on the conversation. I take it personally trying to help people, and I don't think that gets across, unless I actually have a conversation with them. Like I had a long conversation with Jason from the Riverway Lobster House, and I feel like he's pretty comfortable that he'll come to me if he needs anything from the town because he knows that I care.
Good.
So just kind of establishing that trust and care factor with more of our business community so they feel more comfortable coming to me for things.
Yeah, I think, Kyle, with your help, the town's made huge strides as far as being business friendly. I know that, when I got involved with this committee and before that, nobody wanted to go into town hall. Now you can't because of COVID, but the bottom line is I think the town's made huge strides. Certainly there's always room to go, but
Right.
From where we were to where we are, I think is a vast improvement. And you should be very proud of that, Kyle, because I think you're a big part of it. So
Well, thank you.
It's like anything else every one of us do on a daily basis. it's relationship building.
Yep.
And it's just part of the work that we have to do. And, you know, and the planning board organizing that event meant a lot to those people. And now other people in conversation that have talked to them are like, I'd be willing to talk to them since they listen to you, right? So
Oh,
they
good.
they had a really positive response just from that 1 hour, you know? So again, kudos.
Great. Well, good. Hey, Kyle, can you bring up, so I know what date we're talking about minutes on?
Mary, I think that it helps that it was virtual probably, right? I mean, because then it's not taking several hours out of your day to drive there, plan before that, all that after, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Without question.
Can
I'm
I
sure-
ask
Yeah.
for,
Because every town is getting bad, but just so you guys see the impact of where the housing market is right now, just for you guys, there is only 25 single family homes for sale in Yarmouth.
Yeah, there's no
What?
listings. There are no listings, Ryan.
There's
I've been,
25 single family homes for sale in Yarmouth today
that's it.
at every price point.
It's crazy, isn't it, guys?
There's only 17 below $500,000.
Wow.
The market's gone crazy, and there's no listings out there right now. So, where do you think it's going to be in the spring, Ryan?
Not much better because there's becoming so much pent up demand. I mean, anything
Right.
worth anything goes off. And I mean, like last week on Great Western Road in South Yarmouth, there was a house that came on the market for like $460.
Mhm.
They were going to show it Friday and Saturday. They only were doing 30 appointments to show it. They filled up the 30 appointments in 2 hours.
Right. Yeah, there was a house that one of the agents that I work with made an offer on. He made the offer on the house at 20% over ask, and he still didn't get the list. He still didn't get it.
Is that the same house, Kim?
No, different
Oh,
house. Different house. 20% over ask, and he just still didn't. His client still didn't get the house. There was an offer better than that. So it just shows you where the market's at.
Planning board needs to be thinking about this long term.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how we're going to ever build back inventory.
hey, Ryan, and maybe Joanne, the question I have, is there any way, so it's very clear sitting in my office how many people live here now compared to last winter just by the traffic on 28. How do we capture that data of the demographic that has moved here?
So the Cape Cod Commission is looking to they're going to redo their second home survey right now because of the trends that have happened. But then I'm also working on a follow-up survey of those that of new home buyers, of the ones that bought, kind of saying what your intended use and kind of getting some demographic profiles of them too.
Yeah.
Try to estimate how many of them are going to live here year round and stuff like that. I just don't think a lot of people know at this point, you
Mhm.
know? And, you know, I think for Cape Cod, I think the census came at a very bad time.
Yeah.
I think if it would have waited a few more months, it would have been a very vastly different census.
Yeah. I think so.
But that's a great question, Mary, and trying to figure that out. I mean, I could work with you if we wanted to mail them something about the properties that have transacted, about getting something in their hands, something like that. If there's something you want to do around that, let's think about that.
Yeah, I would be very interested in doing that. Kathy Williams and I have gone back and forth a little bit about how we could capture that. I mean, we just opened the visitor center this week, and I know it's not a lot of numbers, but you know, we had 3 brand new residents come in just looking for resources, trying to learn about the town. And they were all different age group, right? I mean, one was in her late 50s, one was in their 30s, and one was in their 70s.
Yeah, so I give an example of my neighbor. The house next to me sold back in October, and young couple, guy and his fiance moved in. They still rent in Boston because they make enough, right, where they can buy a house out here and still rent in Boston. He's an attorney. She works at a law firm, her fiance. And like, he's like, I'll be out here as much as I can. Might be out here 6 months out of the year. I'll be out here every weekend during the winter, coming out here if he's not up in Vermont skiing. But it's a different style person where they're right now, they don't know where they want to be long term, but they have the flexibility in their life to be kind of wherever they want to be.
Yeah, I'd love to work on that, Ryan.
But I mean, it's mid 30-year-olds with, a lot of disposable income, right?
Yeah, the one that moved here was a realtor.
Any single ladies in those mix?
Not yet.
Kyle.
Well, Kyle, that'll be a separate survey just for you.
Separate survey.
Was a 70-year-old a single woman?
And
All right, Jack. You too. Hey,
and then I think there's a real opportunity, Mary, too, from talking to a lot of people in the restaurant world. And when I talk to people in the restaurant world, it's people not here in the restaurant world, but with all the restaurants closing in Boston and New York for good, like I don't know if y'all just saw Eastern Standard and Row 34 Oyster Bar just closed for good.
Yep.
There's going to be a lot of younger chefs looking for things to do and not looking on taking the huge rent stock that is up in Boston area. And so if we can position the Cape and even Yarmouth right, coming out of this, we could get some of them maybe down here and stuff.
good comment, Ryan. Real good.
Yep.
Hey, we got number 7, the minutes. I'm sure everyone's read them in the agenda. Can I get a motion to accept them as printed in the agenda?
Will they be accepted as printed in the agenda?
Can I get a second?
Second?
Great. I have a motion by Jack and a second by Joanne. We need to take a
I'm
roll
gonna
call vote.
abstain. Ken, I'm gonna abstain.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
Same with me, since I wasn't at the meeting.
Okay, then we need to take a roll call vote of who's left then. Mary,
Approved, yep.
Joanne,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes,
and I'm a yes. So Kyle, their minutes are accepted.
All right, sounds good.
All right, I think just a quick March 11th, does that work for everybody?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask for something to be added to the agenda,
For the March 11th meeting?
please?
Sure, go right ahead. Mary.
Can we talk about what steps are being taken so that we can ensure that restaurants can have outdoor dining?
Yep.
And I don't know what the process is to see if we can get the same permitting rolled over that was in place in the fall to the spring.
It should be already, Mary, because it was extended
Yeah, it was
to
extend,
like 30 days past the end of the state of emergency, and we're still in the state of emergency.
that's right.
So I'd like to even have the discussion. A lot of the restaurants that I've talked to said that even after the state of emergency is over, they feel that people will still want to do outdoor dining
Yep.
because
Well, that-
there's still that, fear factor or just uncomfortable. And the fact that people really enjoyed outdoor dining.
Yes.
Okay, we can add it to the agenda. I
Yeah.
think at some point, Kyle, we probably want to have Bruce Murphy in the discussion, but from a
Yep.
discussion from this committee standpoint, we absolutely should take it up.
It would
Thank you.
probably be Bruce Murphy and Mark Grills, because
Mary,
there's both health and zoning.
Yeah, exactly.
Mary,
Yeah,
what restaurants really benefited from it in Yarmouth? I'm trying to remember. The ones I went to were more dentist oriented, the outdoor stuff.
No, but even the smaller ones like El Mariachi, Route 28 Diner, up on 6A, Old Yarmouth Inn, right?
Yeah.
And people have been really creative, and let's even say we go back to 80 or 100% by July. People will still have some type of a fear because of this new, what's the term they're using?
Variant.
Thank you. I couldn't think of it.
Mutations.
And so we would just want to make sure that the restaurants have that option if they choose.
Sure.
Yeah, they would just need to obviously maintain, you can't add total seats. So if you're adding stuff on the outside, you're gonna have to probably take them away from the inside and all that
That's
stuff.
right.
Yeah, I mean, and just have, but it would be great to have all of that predefined
Yep.
so that when it needs to be discussed, it's ready to go.
Yep, we'll get that on the agenda.
I'm just gonna state the obvious, and I know from like town's perspective, like, what does it matter if they add seats, right? Like, we're supposed to be trying to help these guys rebound. and
Septic
recover.
capacity.
That's
What?
right. It's septic capacity.
We don't have sewers, Ryan.
Okay.
That's why it matters.
Yeah, it's bodies in the restaurant that need to use a bathroom. That's where it comes down to.
The other item that's going to be, if I haven't run it past Peter yet, but if Peter is amenable to it, we had Joyce Flynn from the Energy Committee wanted to come before you guys for a short presentation on 2 energy-related opportunities this spring. The Mass Streets Initiative offered by the Cape Light Compact and the Yarmouth Solarize Plus offered through the Mass Clean Energy Center grant. So that's only going to take about 15 minutes. So
Okay, what I'd ask Kyle is we've been the number 1 and number 4, we've been kicking that around now for the last couple of
Yeah.
meetings.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna invite anybody, please have it like start at, 4:20 or something. If we're gonna start the
point.
meeting at 4, just so we can get those things taken care of.
good idea. Yeah.
And number 4, actually, I don't know how much time as a community we want to dedicate to that, but I think that's important that we really tackle number 4. So,
Yep. Sounds good. I'll talk to Peter about that in terms of how he wants to, how he wants to balance that discussion with Joyce coming in and whatnot. That's
Okay.
definitely good points to bring up.
great. All right. I think we're looking for number 9, Mary.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All right. I think everybody can just say yes.
yes, aye.
Yes.
All right.
Have a
Thank you,
great evening,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you
Okay,
all.
have a good
See
evening.
you in March.
Kyle, I just
Bye-bye.
copied you on an email that I had sent to Karen a while ago and never heard back about a grant opportunity for her. So if you can make sure she sees that.
Yeah, she's out until Monday, but I will.
All right, thanks.
All right. See you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.